Okay, my name is vonMetzger. I've been at Walla Walla Vintners for almost 9 years now. The last 5 as the winemaker here. I started out when I was going through the enology and viticulture program through Walla Walla Community College. I started out doing an internship here, and when that ended, I was put on the payroll and never left. So, no, I grew up in Colorado. I was living in Seattle. I've been there for about a year and a half, and my first real city experience. I'd never lived in a city of any size before. I'd always come from smaller towns, and was kind of yearning for that again. My connection with wine and Walla Walla was that I was really growing and expanding as a consumer, and learning all that I could in that regard while I was in Seattle, especially, becoming familiar with the Washington wine scene, and just through that learned about the school here in Walla Walla. Drove back to Colorado to visit my family and spent a couple of days, took a little side trip here to Walla Walla, and met Myles Anderson, met Stan Clark, who were running the program at the time, and enrolled about a week later. So we need to make a wine that is approachable young, but also, in the back of my mind, in the back of my heart, it's always kind of like, you want to make those wines that are going to stand up for 10 or 12 years, and you want to be able to have those long aging wines. And so kind of trying to find a balance between that is always a challenge that we face year to year, but it's always kind of what keeps the job new and interesting.
Well, I know that Myles and Gordy and yourself have been great about opening up your library tastings to regional media, and we had one here today about the Washington State Cuvee, starting in, I think the first vintage was 95 that we
96.
96. So and carried it all the way through to 2009. When you do a library tasting like that, what are you looking for, and what are you taking out?
I look for one, just how well the wines are aging, and how well we did making wines that, we sell our wines out within the first couple years. So all these wines are sold out, with the exception of a couple of current releases that we tasted today. And I knew what they tasted like then, and I wanted to see how they held up. The other thing I'm looking for is consistency. We try and make a wine so that if you are familiar with the 2005 Cuvee, passionate about the 2005, and 3 months ago you took the last bottle out of your cellar and want to come get something that is going to be comparable, that you can come and be confident that your 2009 Cuvee, or the 2008, I guess is the current release, is going to have similar threads running through it, so you're not going to be disappointed by it. It's also, especially with this Cuvee tasting, it's also a great barometer to see how I've evolved as a winemaker. My first vintage, when I was really in control of production here, was 2005, so it kind of has a sweet spot in my heart. But it's nice to see how I've evolved and changed, and how my style is growing and kind of emerging through my years here, because it is always a little bit of trial and error and a little bit of experimentation to hit on things becoming the way you want them to be.
Right. Now, one last thing I'll ask is, what sort of rain? A little bit free reign? What do you have here with Myles and Gordy being here?
In 2005, they held a tighter rein on the things that we were doing, and I was working within that to ensure kind of their style of wines still show through. And now I have a much more free reign here in the winery to do some things that I want, to make some suggestions that I want, to push for blends that I want, oak programs that I want, and to be able to exert my influence a little bit more as my experience and my my opinions, become a little bit more educated, because I learn every year that I do this. There's always something new. It's always a new vintage. There's always new challenges, and so there's always a learning opportunity to grow yourself as a person, as a winemaker.